Nos amants sont So, not bad, huh? How many of you out there would like to be able to do something like that? Okay, I was going to say 2, 3 perhaps. Well, I asked that question earlier and happened to get at least 2 people who said a resounding and enthusiastic yes for sure. That's Tamsin Skiberas and Adam Reed, who want to come up and be just like our dancers. Une bonne main d'applaudissement, s'il vous plaît. Pendant qu'il se trouve un partenaire, je vais vous présenter quelqu'un qui va devenir musicienne extraordinaire ce soir. We even have a guest artist percussionist tonight, and her name is Dorothy Brigman. She would like to have just a seat right here. Oh, she's redecorating. We know who's in charge up on this stage now, don't we? Well, I'm going to go discuss with Dorothy if she's going to actually play the spoons or not. I'll leave you here with this.
Merci, Micheline. So what we thought we would do is we'd get them involved in a little bit of the French-Canadian culture, and we're going to do a very, very simple folk dance. It's a walking dance, but I've just noticed there's something a little bit wrong with this picture, because normally when we're dancing, we have les hommes, the guys, and les dames, the ladies. But due to the lack of the male population tonight, I guess we have les pseudo-hommes, them what are faking it. So, what we're going to do is start off, so does everybody know who their partner is? Does everybody know what sex they are? Yeah. It's the first time I've ever actually had to ask that question. So we're going to start off with a very simple walking dance. It's going to start off with something called a refoulade. That means that you go towards the center and back out again. So let's try this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, recule, 2, 3, encore. 1, 2, 3, 4, recule, and stop right there. Next thing we're going to do is have the ladies go in by themselves, and while they do that, the gentlemen and pseudo-gentlemen are going to stand on the spot and clap hands. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, recule. Gentlemen, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, recule. Stop right there. Face your partner. Next thing you're going to do is called a swing, and that's because French-Canadian people, when they're dancing, they're swingers. They swing. We're going to keep that as a surprise for you. And after having done that, the next thing you'll do is called a promenade. And of course you know the word promenade means to walk. And at the end of this, we'll add on something a little bit special to it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the lady and face the center. Exactly. You're going to do this whole thing twice, and you'll find yourself at the end of the second time facing your partner, with the gentleman on the inside and the ladies on the outside. And now it's very important for the gentleman to start with his left foot. And the left foot is the one that has the big toe on the right side. That's it. There we go. And the next thing you're going to do is called talon point, which means heel toe. So you're going to go talon, point, and slide. 2, other foot, talon, point, puis glisse, 2, 3, 4. Next part's a little bit trickier because it takes a little bit of coordination here. You actually have to follow a very specific rhythmical pattern. And it sounds like this. Frappe main droite, frappe main gauche, frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses. And in case you didn't understand that, it means clap right, clap left, clap both, and clap thighs. No, Adam, your thighs. Your thighs. And then you hook your right arm together with your partner's right arm. You go once around them, that's called a crochet. And you leave your partner and switch partners. French-Canadian people, when they're dancing, they always switch partners a lot, and that accomplishes 2 different things. First of all, you get to dance with people you didn't necessarily know before. And secondly, you're not stuck dancing with the same klutz all night long. So I'm going to ask you to go back to your original big circle.
And I think, aha, merci, Claude. I did turn it on. See when the lights are on? See, it wasn't me, it was him. He often says it was my fault, but tonight I have proof because you guys can all see the lights. Just before we continue, though, I'd like to show you how to play some spoons. I can hear some.
Somebody read the program.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, I don't suppose you brought spoons with you. Oh, okay. We'll pretend. Okay. Vous allez prendre vous utilisez la jambe, puis vous allez mettre une main par-dessus, like this. mine. Vous prenez l'autre main et stick it in the middle. These are the spoons. Okay? Vous frappez sur la jambe, c'est 1. Sur la main, c'est 2. Sur la jambe, c'est 3. Oui, exactement. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Je peux vous entendre compter? Can I hear you count? 1, 2, 3. You'll go home having learned something this evening. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Bravo! Alors, pendant que la musique joue, vous pouvez accompagner, play along, have some fun while we watch our dancers and our musicians.
Now, just before we get started dancing, and we'll ask our musicians to give us a little 4-count intro, there's one other little hint that I'll give you in French-Canadian dancing. This helps a lot. So, Adam, if you look very, very discreetly behind your partner, you'll notice that she's wearing an apron, and the apron is tied in a certain fashion. Now, if it's tied in a bow, it means one thing. If it's tied in a knot, it means another thing. If it's tied in a knot, bow, that's a good thing. That's a good thing, you'll see. Because if it's tied in a knot, it means that she's taken. It means that she is not available. And if it's tied in a bow, it means that she is available. However, her mother does not want you to look back there. So please keep your eyes in the center. Are you ready? Here we go. Here we go. Bounce, 2, 4, 4. Encore plus fort. Les dames sonores, the ladies. Les messieurs, the gentlemen. Tout le monde balance, puis tout le monde danse, et tout le monde danse, puis tout le monde swing. Assez swingé, promenez-vous, walking. C'est ça. Turn the lady under and face the center. Here we go, au south. Encore une autre fois. Les dames, the ladies. Les messieurs, the gentlemen. Swing l'artiste à la porte de bord. Il ouvre la porte. Assez swingé, promenez-vous, promenez. Turn your partner and face them. Talon, point, talon, point, talon, point. Listen. Here we go. Talon, talon. The hands. Frappe les doigts, puis frappe les gauches, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses, puis un petit crochet. Change partners. Here you go. Talon, talon. Encore. Frappe les droites, frappe les gauches, frappe les deux, puis les cuisses, un petit crochet, juste par dedans. Again. Les mains. All right. One more time. Here we go. This way. He's waiting for the hand. Here we go, the hand. Radio people from Altona got rhythm. Change de partenaire. Saluez votre partenaire. A little bow to your partner. Merci beaucoup.
Bravo à vos invités. Thank you very much to Tamsin Siskivaris, to Adam Reed, great job, and, don't disappear on behind that, Dorothy Brigman. Now, as Ian was telling you before, comme Ian disait avant, on a différents spectacles vendredi et samedi, on Friday and Saturday night. You could come back and see a different show, and perhaps it could be your turn to come up on stage and be one of our victims. On continue avec la giga acadienne.
notre salle d'exposition.
Hey, vous pouvez acheter des cuillères. You can buy some pairs
You
of
can buy
spoons just like
spoons
this
if
guy.
that should interest you. I mean, now that you've learned from this, you should take advantage of this. And we would encourage you to go through that and have a peek and look, because there's a lot of people who've worked really, really hard to put that together. On va vous demander de sortir par en arrière. We're going to ask you to leave from the exit at the back of the room.
But just before you do that, we do have a bus tour here, and if you could let them go before you leave, because their bus is blocking your car anyway, so you're kind of stuck until we let you go.
On behalf of Micheline, Nathalie, Joël, and myself, puis le restant de l'ensemble folklorique La Vieille Rouge, bonsoir, merci d'être venu ici chez nous.
Merci.
Good evening and welcome to the 20th Pavillon canadien français here at Folklorama. My name is Ian Kirk, je m'appelle Ian Kirk, et ça me donne un grand plaisir de vous présenter un de nos jeunes ambassadeurs, one of our youth ambassadors, Nathalie Armé. Those of you who have had a chance to see us over the years know that there are two groups that perform at this pavilion. And this evening you're going to have the opportunity to see la troupe adolescente de l'ensemble folklorique La Vieille Rouge, the youth group of l'ensemble folklorique. And because this is our 20th pavilion here at Folklorama, we thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we could get you a little bit more involved in the French-Canadian culture? So you've probably all heard the expression, la joie de vivre, the joy of living. And that's something that's associated with the French-Canadian people, and it's something that they're born with, it's something that they exude, and that they have naturally. And we thought it'd be really fun if we could maybe have you embellish some of that, and absorb some of that. So we came up with a list of 20 different ways that a person can do this. And you'll see that list as you leave the hall this evening. But one of the ways to do this is to greet somebody in the traditional French-Canadian fashion. And that is like this. And this works exceptionally well with people that you know.
And it can get you into a lot of trouble with people who don't.
Micheline.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Je m'appelle Micheline Lamontagne et je suis ambassadrice ici au Pavillon canadien français. If you're not quite brave enough to walk up to a total stranger and plant them one on each cheek, you can do something a little bit less involved, just by saying bonsoir, which is what I'm going to do this evening, because we have the pleasure of accueil. So I've forgotten the English word for that. Of welcoming a number of ambassadors from other pavilions. So I'd like to start over on this side. From the Isle of Shamrock Pavilion, we have the Youth Ambassador, Crystal Sawatsky. As well, from the Greek Island Pavilion, we are welcoming tonight the coordinator, Andreas Klavenidis, and the ambassador, William Constant. From the Serbian Pavilion, the youth ambassador, Milan Bodoroga. Bonsoir à tous. Luckily, we are celebrating this year our 20th anniversary, and on such an occasion we decided it would be a very good time to remember all those people who have been past ambassadors and past coordinators. Et ce soir, nous accueillons le jeune ambassadeur de l'année 1991, our youth ambassador, Jean-Pierre Dufault. And back in 1979, when the first Pavillon canadien français was being put together, we have one lady to thank for that, because she was our very first and very second pavilion coordinator. And her name is Giselle Johnson-Imbeau. So thanks to her, we're still going after 20 years. Is there anyone here who has been to le Pavillon canadien français for 20 years? Apart from Giselle. Oh, fantastic. Merci beaucoup. I also heard some kind of a rumor here. Are there a couple people here from the Pennsylvania area? perhaps from Illinois or Indiana as well. Bonsoir et bienvenue au Pavillon canadien français. And we have one other group that has specifically come out this evening. They're called the Rookies Baseball Team de Saint-Boniface. Bienvenue au Pavillon canadien français. Phew. Well, I think all that's left is for you to meet your neighbor, and then we'll all know each other at this point. But just before you get too involved with that, I'd like to introduce you to our other youth ambassador. Il s'appelle Joël Charrière et il va vous parler du bar.
Une autre manière de célébrer notre 20e anniversaire est de prendre un petit coup de caribou. The caribou, in case you don't know, is a fortified wine. We also have some du bleuet and a different variety of beers from Quebec. Pour ceux qui veulent quelque chose un peu plus sucré, nous avons le café à l'érable. Maple coffee will satisfy any sweet tooth. If you have any questions about the bar, just run up there and ask Lucille. Mais, puisque tu ne peux pas boire sans manger, Nathalie, qu'est-ce qu'il y a au menu?
Bien, Joël, on a de très bonnes choses sur le menu ce soir. My favorites are sugar pie and maple fudge. At this pavilion, there are no rules and you can start with dessert. Mais pour ceux qui ont un peu plus faim, vous pouvez goûter à notre tortilla ou à nos boulettes. Bon appétit!
Merci Nathalie. Le spectacle de ce soir est commandité par la Fédération des caisses populaires du Manitoba et est présenté par l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. We're sponsored tonight by la Fédération des caisses populaires, and our folk ensemble is proud to say that we have celebrated 50 years in Manitoba. There aren't too many folk ensembles that can say that, so it's quite something we're proud of tonight. Alors, sans plus tarder, mesdames et messieurs, on vous présente l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge.
Wow, you're right, there it is.
There it is, see? So, en l'honneur de notre 20e anniversaire, on a pensé, pourquoi toujours laisser les artistes faire le spectacle? So what we did is we went out and perused the crowd. You probably didn't even notice as we were swooping on by. And we happened to find 3 people whose greatest wish was to become a dancer or a percussionist. It's amazing how they just happened to be here this evening. We have, as guest artists this evening, Elena O'Quinn and Jeff Mitchell to be our dancers. And as guest musician tonight, from Rockford, Illinois, Floyd Kisner. So Ian, while I'm explaining to Floyd what his job is this evening, you can handle that?
I don't think you're going to have much explaining to do.
No?
No, I've got a feeling this gentleman's very comfortable.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
Okay. So what we thought we'd do is we thought we would give these people an opportunity to get involved a little bit more in the French-Canadian culture, and we're going to do a very simple walking dance, very traditional. And so it starts off with something we call la refoulade, and that very simply means you're going to be walking towards the center and back out again. So let's try this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and stop right there. And then the next thing that we do, this formation's a little bit odd. You see, usually when you're folk dancing or dancing in general, you have les hommes, the gentlemen, and les femmes, the ladies. But due to the lack of the male population this evening, we're going to have les pseudo-hommes, them what are faking it. So what's going to happen now is the ladies only are going to go towards the center, and the gentlemen are just going to stand and clap hands. Ladies only, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gentlemen, do the same thing. Et 1, 2, 3, 4, arrête là. Now face your partner. And the next thing you're going to be doing is called a swing. French-Canadian people, when they're dancing, they're swingers. They swing with their partner. And so we're going to have you do that. We're going to save that as a bit of a surprise for you. And you've already done this, believe it or not. And after having done that, the next thing you're doing is called a promenade. And that means to walk with your partner. And at the end of this, we'll just add something a little bit special. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the lady and face the center. Exactly, that's perfect. So you're going to do this twice, and at the end of the second time, you'll end up facing your partner with the gentleman on the inside and the ladies on the outside. Exactly. And now comes something a little bit trickier. The gentlemen have to be very careful here because the gentlemen have to start with their left foot. Yes, your left foot is the one that has the big toe on the right side. Say so. Good. And so the next thing you're going to be doing is called talon point, and that means heel toe. So it's going to be talon point, and slide. 2, 3, 4. The other foot. 2. And slide. 2, 3, 4. The next thing you have to do is a rhythmical challenge. It's a little series of hand claps, and it's going to sound like this. Frappe main droite, frappe main gauche, frappe les deux pieds, frappe les cuisses. And in case you didn't understand that, it means clap right, clap left, clap both, clap your thighs. No, sir, your thighs. After having done all that, the next thing you want to do is called a crochet. Hook your right arm together with your partner's right arm. Walk one time around them, and then the gentlemen are going to leave their partner and go to the next person. See, French-Canadian people, when they're dancing, they switch partners a lot, and that allows them to do 2 different things. It allows them to meet other people they didn't necessarily know before, and it means that they're not stuck dancing with the same klutz all night long. So I'm going to ask you to go back to your original partner and form one large circle. Say so. And I think Michelin's
We
just
were
about
just
ready.
discussing over there, perhaps. Sorry, I missed my cue.
That's okay.
That's right. But I'd like to show you what we were doing over here with this spoon stuff. Est-ce qu'il y en a qui savent jouer des cuillères? Anybody ever played these before? Yeah, well, volunteers, I know. You have to, it's part of your culture. Mais les autres? But did you at least bring a pair of spoons along?
Yeah.
You did. Oh, good, real loud plastic ones. Bravo! well prepared as this gentleman over here, well, we'll just have to pretend. All right? So you need 2 hands and a leg. Everybody come equipped with that? Okay, so what you need to do is put your hand up here, keep your leg down there, and put that other hand right in the middle. Voilà. Alors, savez-vous compter jusqu'à 3? Pouvez-vous faire 1, 2, bravo! Alors, on fait 1 sur la jambe, 2 sur la main, 3 sur la jambe. Good deal. And then we start over again in the same spot. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And you keep going ever so well, just as Floyd did. Oh, before he lost it there, just a second ago. That's okay, he was just practicing. He will shine in mere seconds, I'm sure. So I think, vous êtes prêts? You're ready? Are you ready? Oui, okay, bravo. Are you ready?
Almost. I'm just going to give our dancers one more
Okay, I'm going to go check if we're ready.
just before we ask our band to play us a 4-count intro to get this whole thing started, one more little hint, because I understand this can get pretty confusing, and sometimes you mix up directions and stuff like that. So if you should ever find yourself without a partner, don't worry, because the middle in French is called le lost and found. Yeah. So if you don't have a partner, one's going to be patiently waiting for you there. So just go in the center and very gently take them by the hand and casually saunter out. Nobody will know that you made a mistake. Are we ready? Here we go! Attention, santé, tous au santé, en criant, plus fort, louder. The ladies, les dames. And now the guys, les hommes. Tout le monde balance, puis tout le monde danse, et tout le monde danse, puis tout le monde swing. Bravo, assez swingé, promenez-vous, promenez. Très bien, c'est ça. Turn the lady, face the center. Here we go, avance. Recule. Encore avance. Recule. Les dames, the ladies. Et les messieurs. Un swing, swing dans la tête, dans la faute de votre bord. Et pas trop bas. Assez swingé, promenez-vous, promenez. Très bien. Turn the partner and face them. And now, talon, point, talon, point, talon, point. Yes, sir. Again, talon, talon. Here come the hands. Frappe les droites, puis frappe les gauches, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses. Un petit crochet, change de partenaire. There you go. Talon, talon, glisse. Encore, talon, talon, glisse. Frappe les droites, frappe les gauches, frappe les deux, et puis les mains, un petit crochet. All right. C'est ça, bravo. Les mains, hands. Un petit crochet. One last time. Talon, talon. Try the other part first. Back this way. Now do the hand thing, the hand thing. There we go. Excellent, un petit crochet. Bravo, saluez votre partenaire.
A good round of applause for Jeff and Elena. And for Floyd, musicien extraordinaire. See, he's got that down pat too. Honorary French Canadian for this man. Bravo. Well, on a différents spectacles, vendredi et samedi soir. So if you should choose to come back to see our different show, you never know, it might be your turn to come up and be our guest artist. Alors, le spectacle continue avec la gigue acadienne.
just before you leave us this evening, just avant de partir ce soir, on aimerait vous remercier pour avoir passé du temps avec nous. We'd like to thank you for having spent this time with us. We're going to ask you to leave from the exit at the other end of the hall. On your way out, en sortant, vous allez remarquer notre salle d'exposition. You'll get to see our exhibit area. A lot of people have worked very, very hard to put this together. We encourage you, please, to have a look through it.
But just before you go rushing out, if you could please let our bus tour, people from Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Indiana, if you guys want to head out first, because, well, the bus is actually blocking your vehicle, so you can't go anywhere until they leave. So if we'll wish them all our bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Merci d'être venu au Pavillon canadien français.
Also on your way out, those of you who did forget your spoons, you can purchase them out there. Bon faux carana tout le monde, bonsoir, merci, au revoir. My name is Ian Kirk. Quality, not quantity, that's what counts, quality. My name is Ian Kirk, je m'appelle Ian Kirk, and it gives me great pleasure, ça me donne plaisir à vous présenter à notre jeune ambassadeur, one of our youth ambassadors, Nathalie Harvey. So those of you who have had a chance to see this pavilion before, you'll know that we actually have two different groups that perform here. One of them being les adultes de l'ensemble folklorique de la Via Rouge, the adult group of l'ensemble folklorique. And then there's our youth group, and that's the group that you're going to have an opportunity to see this evening. A group of young people who have been working very, very hard to put this show together for the last 10 months. And we thought it'd be kind of interesting if we could get you a little bit more involved in our culture. So we came up with a list of 20 different ways that a person can sort of catch and embrace la joie de vivre canadienne-française. Now, you've all heard that expression, la joie de vivre, that means the joy of living. And it's something that French Canadians are born with, it's something within them, and it's something they exude naturally. And so we're going to give you the opportunity to catch some of that, and you'll get a chance to see that list on the way out. However, one of the things that you can do is greet somebody in the traditional French Canadian fashion, which is like this. And this works exceptionally well with people that you know.
And it's going to get you into a lot of trouble with people you don't.
Michelin.
Bonsoir, mesdames et messieurs. Ici. Turn around. Bonsoir. I'm over here at the VIP table that is full this evening. And we're just kind of getting things organized here, Ian. So how about if you were to do those prizes right now?
I certainly will.
Merci.
Yes, I'm going to ask you to turn your attention back this way for a moment. As you can imagine, putting something like this together is a tremendous effort, and we at the Pavillon canadien français, over the last 20 years, have had the best volunteers on the face of the earth, and we never really can thank them enough. However, we do have somebody who's worked very, very hard at putting together a list of door prizes that these people get a chance to win. So I'm going to go through this list very, very quickly for this evening. And the first person has won what is always considered to be possibly one of the better door prizes for the week. Richard Savette, qui a gagné un massage d'1 heure, un massage thérapeutique provencher avec Dominique Jeunesse. Marie Cloutier, une tasse du sac Molière et puis laissez passer au Sportex. Laurette Galland, un livre offert par la boutique du livre puis un laissez passer au Sportex. Philippe Pelletier, un bon d'achat au Just Desserts Café et un laissez passer du Sportex. Émile Bertrand, un bon d'achat pour le restaurant Red Lantern puis quelque chose du Sportex. Arthur Paiement. Not Arthur. Arthur has been with us for 20 years, one of our truly dedicated volunteers. Un bon d'achat au restaurant Red Lantern et aussi, laissez passer au Sportex, Monsieur Jean-Paul Cloutier. Un t-shirt du 50e anniversaire offert par Raymond Desrochers de Rivoli. Monsieur Gilles Noël. Bravo Gilles. Un t-shirt de Folklorama offert par l'ensemble folklorique d'Avier-Rouge, puis un laissez-passer au Spartex. Nick Morier, un laissez-passer d'1 mois au Spartex. Lucille Laquin, un sweatshirt offert par Aikens Wilderness Lodge. Et finalement, Maurice Noël, un tasse du Sac Molière et puis un laissez-passer du Spartex. Merci beaucoup à tous nos bénévoles.
We just made it. We have a full house this evening. Now, so if you can bear with me for a few moments, on va essayer de passer tout le monde dans le plus bref des délais. Alors, on va commencer avec les ambassadeurs généraux de la fête de Folklorama. Our ambassador generals this year, Sangeeta Calder and Tony James from the Caribbean Pavilion. Et du pavillon allemand, nous avons Michael Dixon, Stephanie Lang and Carola Lang. Du pavillon de Paraguay, nous avons Orlando Braun. Et puis, nous avons Amit Kaushal from the India Pavilion. Bonsoir et bienvenue. Flipping the paper. En l'honneur de notre 20e anniversaire cette année, nous avons invité les anciens ambassadeurs, maires, hôtesses, food, everybody. We invited them all to come back to celebrate our 20th year. And tonight, we have a couple of special guests from 1985, for those of you who can think back that far. Nous avons Lucille Laquin qui est ambassadeur. Et nous avons aussi un coordonnateur du pavillon, je sais pas en quelle année par exemple. En 90, 91, 1990 and 91, Monsieur Philippe Leclerc. Now we do have another body at this table, and anyone who's been to the Pavillon Canadien Français for the past 20 years will most likely recognize him. He has been dancing, and this is his 20th pavilion. He's also our artistic director, et il s'appelle Jean-Paul Cloutier. Now, if you can be patient for just a moment. Did I get everybody here? Nobody's saying a resounding no, so I think I got them all. Il reste juste une personne à présenter, et ça c'est notre jeune ambassadeur de cette année. Il s'appelle Joël Charrière, et il va vous parler du bar.
Une autre manière de célébrer notre 20e anniversaire est de prendre un petit coup de caribou. The caribou, in case you don't know, is a fortified wine. We also have some du bleuet and a different variety of beers imported from Quebec. Pour ceux qui veulent quelque chose un peu plus secret, nous avons le café à l'érable. Maple coffee will satisfy any sweet tooth. If you have any questions about the bar, just run up there and ask Lucille. Mais puisque tu ne peux pas boire sans manger, Nathalie, qu'est-ce qu'il y a au menu?
Bien, Joël, on a de très bonnes choses au menu ce soir. My favorites are sugar pie and maple fudge. At this pavilion, there are no rules, and you can start with dessert. Mais pour ceux qui sont un peu plus fins, vous pouvez goûter à notre totette ou à nos boulettes. But I have a very big favor to ask you tonight. If you look around, there are about, 100, 150 people tonight at our last show of Danseurs, the junior dancers. And we've been working really hard for this pavilion, for the Folklorama, and you can fit about 500 people in this room. So after every dance, or at least at the end of the show, I was wondering if you guys can clap really, really loud to encourage us to dance even more. Thank you.
Merci Nathalie. Le spectacle que vous allez voir ce soir est commandité par la Fédération des caisses populaires du Manitoba et est présenté par l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge. Our folk ensemble has the distinction of saying we have celebrated a 50th anniversary. Actually, this year we kind of hit 51, even though I'm sure you'll notice that the people on stage don't look a day over 16. Alors, sans plus tarder, mesdames et messieurs, voici l'ensemble folklorique de la Rivière-Rouge.
plus jeune se réveille, dit ma sœur, il est jour. Ah, j'ai du nuit, j'ai du paillage, j'ai de l'orangerie, j'ai du tri, j'ai du picolé, j'ai des animalités, j'ai des ananas, des pierres à fusil, des lauriers. J'ai du zi, j'ai des soucis, j'ai du dîner, j'ai des oiseaux, j'ai de beaux oiseaux. La plus jeune se réveille, dit ma sœur, il est jour, dit ma sœur, il est jour. Non, ce n'est qu'il éclaire nos amours. Ah,
bodies per person.
C'est ça.
C'est ça. Oui. Et en l'honneur de notre 20e anniversaire, on s'est dit, pourquoi laisser les artistes faire tout le show? That's not fair. On va au moins inviter des gens de l'auditoire. And it sounds to me that we have some extra special guests this evening.
Oh, do we ever?
Well, as our guest percussionist this evening, we have none other than the Ambassador General himself, Tony James. And Ian, since I think you know these next people quite well, somebody named Alicia Helling. Factor in this group here. And Irving Hagen.
Now, I must tell everybody that in the month of May, the group that you see on stage, we had the opportunity to go to Hanska, Minnesota, where we participated in a festival put on by these fine people and a whole bunch of others sitting right here from Hanska. Hanska, give us a wave, please.
Minnesota, and we celebrate September, and we got to see these kids last year, and we just went absolutely nuts. We said we had to get them in Hanska. But I'll tell you what, these kids surprised us, and they're wonderful. They're absolutely marvelous. Not only can they dance incredible, but they are absolutely perfect. They represented you absolutely fabulous. The kids, everybody just loved them. They said, where are these kids from? They're just, can they come back? We want them back again, don't we, want our hands cut? So we're so lucky, we just love these kids. They're just, and thank you for sharing them with us too. Thanks.
So, if ever you're feeling a little bit down, a little bit blue, what you do is you go to Hanska, Minnesota. And a warmer reception and home loving you will never receive like you will get there.
A little bit blue, do you think?
Yeah.
There's a kind of color theme going on
No
here
pun
today?
intended, sorry. So what we thought we'd do is we'd ask them to join us for a little French-Canadian folk dance. I'm going to explain it to you. It's a very traditional dance, very simple to do. And it starts off with something that we call la refoulade, and that means simply you're going to walk towards the center and back out. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill, 2, 3, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill, and stop right there. And then what we're going to do, oh, there's something wrong here. See, normally when you're folk dancing, you have les hommes, the gentlemen, puis les femmes, the ladies. However, tonight we have a lack of the male population, so we're going to have what we call les pseudo-hommes, them what are faking it. Say so. But we're going to ask the ladies only to go into the center and back out. While they do that, the gentlemen are going to clap hands. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Gentlemen, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, kill. Stop right there, face your partner. And the next thing you're going to do is called a swing. French-Canadian dancers, when they dance with people, they're swingers. They swing. So what you're going to do is a swing, and we're going to leave that as a bit of a surprise for you. And we're going to pretend we've already done that, and after having done that, the next thing you're going to do is called a promenade. And promenade very simply means to walk. And at the end of this, we'll add something a little bit special. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the lady, face the center. Very good. So we're going to do this whole thing twice, and at the end of the second time, you're going to find yourself facing your partner with the gentleman on the inside, the ladies on the outside. And now it's very, very important that the gentleman starts with his left foot. The left foot is the one that has the big toe on the right side. That's the one, there we are. And you're going to do something called talon point. That means heel toe. So it's going to be talon, point, and slide. Other foot, talon, point, and slide. Stop right there. Next thing you're going to do is a series of hand claps in a very specific rhythmical pattern sounding like this. Frappe main droite, puis frappe main gauche, puis frappe les deux, puis frappe les cuisses. Now, in case you didn't understand that, it means clap right, clap left, clap both, clap thighs. No, sir, your thighs. Not hers. There we are. I tell you, these people from Hanska, they love a bit too much. Now, you're going to hook your right arm together with your partner's right arm, and then go once around them. And then actually you're going to leave your partner and go to the next person. See, French Canadians, when they're folk dancing, they switch partners a lot. And that accomplishes two different things. First of all, you get to meet these people you didn't necessarily know before. And secondly, you're not stuck dancing with the same klutz all night long. So I'm going to ask you to go back to your original partner and form one large circle.
Oops, did I fall asleep there for a minute? That would be my turn, wouldn't it? See, I was just so enthralled by your fabulous dancing that I just kind of lost it. So, when I was paying attention, I was showing Tony how to play spoons. Alors, did anybody happen to bring a pair of spoons with them this evening? Not at all, huh? They must be having fun over there. So what we'll do is we're just gonna pretend like we don't even know that they're there. I'm gonna teach you what I was showing Tony. So you need two hands and a leg. Came equipped? All right. Need this leg, this hand up here, this one right in the middle. Et on compte. 1, 2, 3. You say that with me? 1, 2, 3. You are now functionally bilingual. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and you get right along just as well as Tony's doing here. Good job. Looks like our part is ready. C'est à toi, mate.
It's obvious why he was chosen as Ambassador General with this kind of talent.
Yep.
Now, just before we ask our musicians to lead us in with a little 4-count intro, I'll give the gentleman one other little hint here about French Canadian dancing. If you very discreetly look behind your partner, very discreetly look behind your partner. No, look at your behind. Don't look at her behind. Look behind your partner. Please. You're going to notice the apron string, and that